Hey everyone, this is Brian from ActiveMelody.com. Well, back in the late 90s, I was living in Memphis, Tennessee, and I was at a guitar store, and I heard a guy playing a jazz chord progression, and I liked it so much I went and asked him to show me what it was he was doing. So those chords have stuck with me, or that progression has stuck with me for all these years. So this week I was putting together a lesson on chords, and I thought that would make for a great lesson. Now I don't know what this chord progression is, so if you know what it is, if it's a song, let me know. I try not to do other people's stuff for copyright reasons, but anyway, I added my own little part to it. But that's what this week's lesson is. It's some jazz chords. There's some major 6 chords, some 9 chords, and it's just a lot of fun to play. If you want to download the tablature and the jam track so that you can practice along, go to ActiveMelody.com and look for EP063. And you'll also be able to watch some bonus video content there as well. So let's go ahead and take a look at part 1. Alright, so let's go ahead and break down these chords. Now this first chord is an E major 7th chord. Let me show you how to play that. It's real easy to do. If you got to come up here and bar the 7th fret. And then I'm going to take my pinky and I'm going to put it down on the 2nd string 9th fret. And then my middle finger goes down on the 3rd string 8th fret, so right there, and then my ring finger comes over and plays the 4th string on the 9th fret, just like that. So the little shape that we made right there is the same shape as if you're playing a D7th shape down here. It's that same little sort of triangle, but you're making it up here, just like that, with these 3 fingers. And then you put your bar in, and now you're going to play strings 5, 4, 3, 2, and really those middle 4 strings are the ones I played. If you happen to play the 1 string, that works as well. That's part of, another note in the chord. But when I made the tab, I only included those middle 4. Now, okay, so that's the chord. Now the challenge for you that are just beginning, well, depending on the kind of guitar, if you're on an acoustic, it may be a little harder for you to, and you're new, maybe a little harder for you to fret a bar chord like that. But the other challenge, once you get the fretting down, will be the strumming pattern. And the strumming pattern for this goes down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, just like this. Down, 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 up, down. Now you can see what's happening with my hand. My hand is obviously going down, up, down, up, down. It's constantly going back and forth. But you're only strumming on the downstroke, downstroke, down, up, down. And it gives it this kind of lazy feel. You don't want it to be super rigid. Just kind of, let it flow. Now, the other thing to point out is that I'm controlling when the notes are played, or when the notes ring out rather, with my left hand, and when they're muted. So if I were to just fret this and just keep it locked down without releasing for a mute, it would sound like this. It would just keep ringing out. But what I'm doing is I'm going like this. I'm going squeeze, 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 squeeze. So I'm squeezing and then releasing, keeping my fingers in place, but when I release my fingers, it mutes the strings. So it allows you to create these little bursts of notes like that, and it really gives you control. That is the primary reason why a lot of guitar players, when you get a little more advanced, you end up making your chords up here, with bar chords and things, because you have complete control over when the note is going to ring, how long the note rings out, versus down here in open position. If you're playing a chord like a G chord, you got these open strings, you can't control them. They're just going to ring until you play another chord. So that's the disadvantage of first position chords versus the control you have. So okay, so that's the strumming pattern. So let's move on to the next chord. After that, after the E major 7th, we're going to play an E 9th chord, which sounds like this. Same strumming pattern, so I don't have to cover that again. Let me show you how to make this chord. Now this is a shape. This 9th shape is a shape that we're going to use a lot, and this is a chord that I use all the time. It's very handy, and it's easy to play. So remember when I showed you that when we took that D7th shape, that little triangle shape, and we incorporated it up here in the E major 7th? Well, we're going to use that same little pattern again for the E9, but we're going to play it with our middle finger on the 5th string, 7th fret, pointer finger on the 4th string, 6th fret, and ring finger on the 3rd string, 7th fret. So there's the little shape. Now the only difference, or the only addition, is we have our pinky, which is still free, so the pinky can come and just bar strings 1 and 2 on the 7th fret. And it's actually pretty easy. It's a very natural feeling chord to play, because it almost just feels like you're holding on to the neck. It doesn't feel like you're really, once you get this chord down, it won't be a lot of work. And so you're going to play strings 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and that creates an E9 chord. Now once you get that 9 shape, you'll find yourself using that all the time when especially when you're playing blues. It's just a great little chord to resort to. So anyway, that's the 9 chord. So the first is the E major 7, then the E9, and then we're going to come up here and play an F major 7th. And here's what we're going to do with it. I'm going to add this little pinky note up here on the 12th fret, 1st string. But let me show you the F major 7th chord first. So what we're going to do is we're going to bar the 9th fret. So this is getting pretty high on the neck. So if you're on an acoustic guitar, you know, and don't have a cutaway like you do on a electric, or at least on the Strat, you might be bumping into the edge of the guitar. But anyway, so you're going to bar the 9th fret, then we're going to take our middle finger and go down on the 2nd string, 10th fret, just like that. And then the ring finger comes up here. We skip the 3rd string. The ring finger goes down the 4th string, 11th fret. And we're going to play strings 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1 to get this sound. So that's an F sharp major 7th. Did I say F major 7th before? It's an F sharp major 7th. So so that's the chord. Now, same strumming pattern, but this time on the down, up, down, we're going to add our pinky up here on the 12th fret, 1st string, and then we're going to take it off. So we keep the chord in place. We're just adding that pinky in that one place, and then we're letting it go. And when I let it go, notice with my right hand, I just kind of am making sure that I hit that 1st string on the upstroke. Just like that. So let's back up. We'll put those 3 chords together. We have the E major 7, we have the E9, and we have the F sharp major 7, which is that chord. Now we're going to come down, we're going to do another 9 chord. We're going to play the D9. So this time we come down here like this. So remember the little shape that we made when we made the E9 right here? Remember how our ring finger and our middle finger were straddling the 7th fret? Well, this time it's the same shape, but the ring finger, middle finger straddle the 5th fret. So I'm not going to cover that pattern again. It's there's that little shape. We're going to take our pinky and bar here the first 2 strings on the 5th fret this time. So when you do that same shape here, you're creating a D9. So it's the same exact shape. It's just everything was slid down 2 frets from where we did the E9. And that's the D9, which is a nice little chord. So let's back up and add that in now. We have the chord 2. Now we're down to the D9. Now we're back to the E major 7. Now we're going to do another 9, same shape again, but this time instead of straddling the 5th fret, we're going to straddle the 4th fret with our middle finger, ring finger, and then our pinky. All those are crammed into the 4th fret. The only one that's not on the 4th fret is your pointer finger, by the way. So if we do that here on the 4th fret, that's a C sharp 9. Now watch this. Now we're going to slide everything down 1 for a C9. We're We're going to slide everything down again, same shape again for a B9. And then we're going to play an E major 7th down here. And the way that I'm making that E major 7th, it's just an E chord. And then I put my pinky here on the 2nd fret, 2nd string to make that chord. So let's back up. Now that we really have that first part, let me call out the chords. So we start with the E major 7, then the E9, then the F sharp major 7, then the D9. Now back to the E major 7. Now the C sharp 9. Now the C9, the B9, and down to the E major 7 down here. Isn't that nice? And that's really the first part of that progression. Alright, so I'll play through that one more time without me calling out the chord names, just so you have it as a reference. Here we go.